the idea of being able to bring some change. Not overly radical change, but changes that I think need to happen.
Shocking reports from the royal household are beginning to emerge, and this time it is not about illness or departure. Instead, it points to something far more intense, a growing feud between Prince William and Queen Camilla. According to insiders, the tension has reached a level where Prince William is said to be taking a stronger stance, with claims that changes could be made that affect Camilla's position and her family's place within the royal circle. So what really happened? And what does this mean for Camilla's future? Join us as we uncover the truth behind this growing royal tension. The state banquet that started the feud. To understand why Prince William reportedly lost his composure, it helps to look closely at what happened on March 18, 2026, the night of Nigeria's first state visit to the United Kingdom in nearly 40 years. It was meant to be a grand occasion that showed the strength and tradition of the British monarchy. Bola Tinubu arrived at Windsor Castle for a formal state banquet, with cameras from around the world capturing every moment, from handshake to movements. But while all of that was happening, something unexpected took place that completely changed the course of the visit. Stay with us. This is the part you won't want to miss. Behind the scenes, the situation was far less calm. According to insiders, William was deeply worried about the demanding schedule planned for his father, King Charles III. At 77, the king had already appeared tired in the weeks before the visit. Because of this, the packed two-day program raised serious concerns among those close to him. Sources say William's reaction went beyond simple concern. He was genuinely angry. He believed the schedule placed too much pressure on his father at a time when rest should have come first. The state banquet, in particular, became the main focus of his concern. To William, it was a risk that could have been avoided if better decisions had been made. Despite these worries, Queen Camilla reportedly saw things differently. She believed attending the banquet was very important, especially because of the global attention on the royal family. In her view, showing strength and unity mattered more than stepping back due to fatigue. In the end, Charles and Camilla attended the state event, but this did not calm William's concerns. In fact, the evening seemed to confirm them. Many observers noticed that Charles looked tired and not fully well during and after the banquet with Nigeria. People began talking about his condition, which strengthened William's belief that his father had been pushed too far. For him, this was no longer just a concern, it was something clearly visible and worrying. What made the situation more serious was who William blamed. Instead of pointing fingers at palace staff or event planners, he reportedly held Camilla responsible. He believed she had played a major role in keeping the demanding schedule, even though there were clear signs that the king needed rest. Those close to the situation say William felt deeply upset and increasingly powerless. He tried to suggest slowing things down and giving his father time to rest, but he felt his concerns were ignored. This left him frustrated, as though he could not properly protect his father. At this point, the issue became bigger than just a busy schedule. It turned into something personal. William's desire to care for his father clashed with Camilla's focus on duty and public expectations. What had started as a private worry began to grow into something much more serious. The tension between William and Camilla increased, moving beyond quiet concern into open disagreement. It was no longer just about planning, it became a question of judgment, responsibility, and the king's well-being. But it did not end there. According to palace insiders, Prince William now feels like he is in a constant struggle with his stepmother, Queen Camilla. The tension between them has been growing over time, mainly because of their different views on what is best for King Charles III. William has been urging his father to slow down and focus on his health. He believes Charles should reduce his public duties and take more time to rest, especially given his current condition. However, each time William raises this concern, it seems to lead to disagreement. Camilla, on the other hand, encourages Charles to keep working and remain active in his role as king. This difference in opinion has become a repeated source of conflict between them. At the heart of the issue is a clear clash in thinking. Camilla believes that staying visible and continuing royal duties is important, not just for the monarchy, but also for Charles himself. She likely feels that work gives him purpose, strength, and a sense of normal life. From her point of view, keeping him active may actually help him cope better. William, however, sees things very differently. In the past, he had made efforts to build a better relationship with Camilla, but that now seems to have changed. His focus has shifted completely to protecting his father's health, even if it means disagreeing with her more openly. One of Charles's close friends reportedly shared that work has always been a source of comfort and stability for the king. It has helped him stay focused and feel in control, especially during difficult times. Camilla may share this belief and feel that encouraging him to continue working is the right thing to do. In her eyes, she may be supporting him, not harming him. But William does not agree with that approach. To him, the situation is serious, and rest should come before duty. An aide reportedly said that William now feels like he is standing directly against Camilla. He sees her as someone blocking what he believes is necessary, a reduction in Charles's workload to protect his health. This situation is even more sensitive because Charles is dealing with a cancer diagnosis. The amount of work he takes on is no longer just a matter of choice, it has real consequences for his well-being and future. For William, this raises the stakes even higher. His concerns are also deeply personal. Having lost his mother, Princess Diana, at a young age, William carries that experience with him. It has shaped how he views family, health, and responsibility. There is a real fear for him that history could repeat itself, that the demands of royal life could once again come before the well-being of someone he loves. Because of this, William no longer sees the situation as a simple disagreement. To him, it is something much more serious. Camilla is not just someone with a different opinion. He now views her as standing in the way of what he believes is right for his father. For a future king, this kind of situation is difficult and emotional. It places him in a position where personal feelings and royal duty collide. And as tensions continue to grow, what started as concern has clearly turned into a deeper and more personal conflict within the royal family. And that's only one part of the tension. Keep watching, because what comes next is even more surprising. Sarah Ferguson's feud. In February 2026, a report surfaced that added a new and dramatic layer to the growing tensions within the royal family. According to insiders, Prince William issued a firm and direct ultimatum to Queen Camilla. His message was clear: distance yourself completely from Sarah Ferguson or risk serious disagreement. This was not a small or casual request. It was a strong position that revealed just how seriously William now views the royal family's public image. According to a source, he believes that in today's climate, even indirect links to controversy can damage the monarchy. For him, protecting the institution must come before personal relationships, no matter how long-standing they may be. The timing of this ultimatum is important. It comes against the background of ongoing issues connected to Prince Andrew. Although Andrew has already stepped back from public life, his past legal troubles continue to cast a long shadow over the royal family. Recently, documents connected to the United States Department of Justice reportedly mentioned Sarah Ferguson.
The latest batch of Epstein files are piling more pressure on former royal Sarah Ferguson and her closeness to the convicted sex offender.
While sources were quick to say she had done nothing wrong, the situation still raised concerns. For William, this was exactly the kind of risk he wanted to avoid. From his point of view, the royal family is in a delicate position. Public trust is not guaranteed, and even the appearance of association with controversy can weaken it. In that sense, his stance is not just personal. It reflects a broader effort to reshape how the monarchy is seen in modern times. But Queen Camilla did not agree. In fact, she reportedly refused to follow William's demand. Camilla's connection with Sarah Ferguson goes back many years, long before she became queen. Their friendship has survived public criticism, media attention, and difficult moments within the royal family. For Camilla, loyalty matters, and cutting someone off so completely is not a simple decision. This difference in approach highlights a deeper divide between them. William is focused on control, structure, and protecting the monarchy's future image. Camilla, on the other hand, appears to value personal bonds and long-term loyalty. Neither view is simple or entirely wrong, but they are clearly in conflict. Meanwhile, King Charles has already taken his own steps to manage the situation. In response to the issues surrounding Andrew, he removed official royal roles and made decisions that distanced the institution from further controversy. These actions showed that Charles is aware of the risks and is willing to act when necessary. However, William seems to believe those steps are not enough. His reported ultimatum suggests he wants a cleaner, more decisive break, not just from Andrew, but from anyone closely connected to the situation. It reflects a more firm and modern approach, where image and accountability are tightly controlled. This is where questions begin to arise. Some observers believe William may be going too far. After all, he is not yet king. While he is the future of the monarchy, the authority still rests with Charles. By making strong demands and setting clear conditions, William risks appearing as though he is already in charge. At the same time, others see this differently. They argue that William is simply preparing for the role he will one day take on. In a world where public opinion can shift quickly, they believe his actions show leadership and a willingness to make difficult choices. Still, the situation is far from simple. Telling Camilla who she can or cannot associate with crosses into deeply personal territory. It is not just about public duty, it touches on friendship, loyalty, and independence within the royal household. This makes the conflict more than just a disagreement about reputation. It becomes a question of boundaries. How much influence should William have now? And how much freedom should Camilla retain as queen? But this reported ultimatum reveals something important. While the crown still belongs to King Charles III, the direction of the monarchy is already being shaped by William. His voice is growing stronger, his decisions more direct, and his influence harder to ignore. What we are seeing may not just be a moment of tension, but a shift in power. A future king stepping forward, and in doing so, creating new lines that others in the palace are not always willing to follow. Princess Diana, a hidden reason for the tension. Another reason for the growing tension inside the royal family goes much deeper than current events. It is rooted in the past, in emotions and memories that have never fully healed. At the center of this is the lasting impact of Princess Diana on the relationship between Prince William and Queen Camilla. For William, this is not just history, it is personal. As a child, he witnessed the breakdown of his parents' marriage, a situation widely linked to Camilla's relationship with his father, King Charles III. That experience left a deep emotional mark. Even though many years have passed, those early wounds have never completely disappeared. Royal observers, including Christopher Anderson, have suggested that William has learned to tolerate Camilla rather than fully accept her. Over time, a kind of balance was reached. They were able to interact politely, and at moments, even warmly. Publicly, things appeared stable. Privately, however, that peace may have been more fragile than it seemed. This view is supported by what Prince Harry shared in his memoir Spare. He revealed that both he and William had once asked their father not to marry Camilla. Despite their feelings, the marriage went ahead. For the two brothers, this was not easy to accept. In their younger years, Camilla was often seen through a negative lens, as someone who had played a role in breaking their family apart. Even so, time brought a level of adjustment. William, in particular, focused on duty and responsibility. He worked to maintain a functioning relationship with Camilla for the sake of the monarchy. Insiders have described moments where there was genuine ease between them, suggesting that some healing had taken place. But recent events have disturbed that fragile balance. As tensions rise over King Charles's health and workload, old emotions appear to be resurfacing. What was once a disagreement about royal duty is now becoming something much more personal. According to sources, William is struggling to separate the present situation from the past. When he sees Camilla encouraging Charles to continue with a demanding public schedule despite his illness, he does not simply see a supportive wife. Instead, he is reminded of the past, of the woman he believes contributed to his family's pain. This emotional connection changes how he interprets her actions today. The famous words once spoken by Diana that there were 3 people in her marriage still echo in the background of this situation. William grew up shaped by that reality. Now, as he watches his father face serious health challenges, those memories seem to be returning with renewed force. And it gets worse from here, because what makes the situation so complex? It is not just about present decisions, it is about unresolved feelings. For William, the past and present are blending together, making it harder to respond calmly. What might appear as a professional disagreement is, for him, deeply emotional. And just as these tensions were building, another development made things even worse. On March 26, 2026, Tom Bauer released a new book titled Betrayal, Power, Deceit, and the Fight for the Future of the Royal Family. The timing could hardly have been more difficult for the royal family. The book made several strong claims, but one in particular caused immediate attention. It suggested that Camilla had privately accused Meghan Markle of influencing or brainwashing Prince Harry. Whether true or not, the claim quickly became a public issue.
For William, this was a major setback. He has spent years trying to create distance between the working royal family and the ongoing tensions involving Harry and Meghan. The situation had already been sensitive, and this claim brought it back into the spotlight at the worst possible time. Instead of moving forward, the family was once again pulled into old controversies. This not only affected public perception, but also added pressure inside the palace. William was already dealing with concerns about his father's health and disagreements involving Camilla and other family members. Now, this new issue has made everything more complicated. The book also explored deeper themes: power, loyalty, and the future direction of the monarchy. It raised questions about who holds influence within the royal family and how decisions are being made behind closed doors. In an already tense environment, these discussions added even more strain. According to one source, the atmosphere at Windsor Castle became noticeably colder after the book's release. Trust was affected, and conversations likely became more cautious. The sense of unity that the royal family tries to present to the public began to show signs of pressure. The situation also brought up an important question about the future. What role will Camilla have when William eventually becomes king? Royal commentator Joe Little has suggested that once William takes the throne, he will have full authority to make decisions about the structure and direction of the monarchy. This could include reviewing the roles and positions of senior family members, including Camilla. Insiders believe this is not just a distant possibility. There are signs that William is already thinking ahead, considering how he wants the monarchy to look under his leadership. His recent actions suggest a more controlled and disciplined approach, especially when it comes to public image and accountability. In that sense, the book served as a reminder that time is moving forward. King Charles is still on the throne, but the future is approaching quickly. Decisions made now about relationships, responsibilities, and public image could shape the monarchy for years to come. When all of this is put together, the picture becomes clearer. The tension between William and Camilla is not caused by a single issue. It is the result of many layers: past pain, present disagreements, and future uncertainty. Old wounds have reopened, new conflicts have emerged,
And outside pressures, like the release of Bauer's book, have only made things harder. What we are seeing is more than a temporary disagreement. It is a moment where history, emotion, and responsibility are all colliding at once. And as these pressures continue to grow, the unity of the royal family is being tested in ways that could shape its future for years to come, raising an important question: what does the future hold for Camilla? Curious to find out, stay tuned. What the future holds for Camilla. When we consider the future holds for Camilla, we have to check what has been done behind the scenes, because that alone adds content to the story. According to reports, King Charles has been making moves for the future without him, and that can be seen in his final wish, which is centered on his wife, Queen Camilla, and the future of his two sons, Prince William and Prince Harry. As his health continues to worsen, the king is said to have made several private decisions that reveal not only his deep love and loyalty, but also his quiet fears about what may happen after he is gone. One of the most important decisions he has made concerns Camilla's future. After his death, she is expected to be known as Queen Dowager. This title carries strong meaning in royal tradition. It ensures that she will continue to be treated with the respect, dignity, and status of a queen, even after the king is no longer alive. For Charles, this decision is about far more than a title. It is about protection. It is about making sure that Camilla remains a respected and secure figure within the royal family, no matter how relationships or power may shift in the future. In simple terms, he wants to ensure that she is never pushed aside, criticized unfairly, or forced into the background the way some royal widows have been in the past. The king's plan sends a clear message. Camilla should remain central to royal life. Her position, in his view, should not be affected by palace politics or changing public opinion. By securing this title for her, Charles is trying to guarantee that she will continue to enjoy the privileges, protection, and recognition that come with being part of the royal institution. But Charles has not relied on titles alone. Reports suggest he has taken real, practical steps to support these plans. One of the most talked about actions is his reported purchase of a property worth around $3.8 million near Camilla's private home in Wiltshire. This property is believed to serve as a private sanctuary, a place where she can feel safe and independent if her position within the palace becomes uncertain in the future. This move shows that Charles is thinking ahead in a very personal way. He is not only acting as a monarch, but also as a husband who wants to ensure his wife is protected in every possible sense, both publicly and privately. At the same time, Camilla herself appears to be preparing for the future. Insiders say she has been quietly making moves behind the scenes, taking steps to strengthen her independence and secure her role. Rather than depending fully on Charles's plans, she is building her own foundation for what lies ahead. One clear example of this is her growing involvement in national projects. In May 2025, she took part in an important moment at Westminster Abbey, where she unveiled the foundation stone for a major new sacristy project. As a patron of the development, her role in such a high-profile initiative highlights her continued importance within national and royal life. This kind of public engagement shows that Camilla is not stepping back, she is stepping forward. She is positioning herself as an active and relevant figure, someone who still plays a meaningful role in the monarchy. In addition to her public work, there are also reports that Camilla has been expanding her personal estate in Wiltshire, exploring the purchase of nearby land and cottages. This suggests a careful effort to strengthen her personal base, a move that points to long-term planning and a desire for stability. When these actions are viewed together, a clear strategy begins to emerge. On one side, Charles is putting formal protections in place to secure Camilla's future. On the other, Camilla is taking practical steps to ensure her independence and continued influence. However, all of these efforts lead to one unavoidable moment: All paths in this story lead to a single event: the day Prince William becomes king. When that day comes, everything changes, especially for Camilla. Royal expert Christopher Anderson believes that Camilla's role will be carefully reviewed under a future King William. While she may still attend certain royal events, her influence and responsibilities are likely to be reduced. Anderson has also pointed out that although William and Harry may appear polite toward Camilla in public, both brothers have long struggled with her presence in their father's life. That underlying discomfort has never fully gone away, and it could play a major role in shaping future decisions. When it comes to her title, there is some stability. According to Joe Little from Majesty magazine, Camilla would likely retain her title as Queen, much like Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother, did after the death of her husband. This means her official status may remain unchanged. But titles do not guarantee influence. Once William becomes king, the power to shape the monarchy will rest entirely with him. This means every part of Camilla's public and private life could be reviewed, from her role in royal duties to her connections and influence behind the scenes. This review is expected to go beyond just Camilla herself. It will likely extend to her wider circle, including the Parker Bowles family and the network of friends and supporters she has built over the years. These relationships, which have grown naturally during her time as queen, may now be seen differently. For William, these connections could represent risk. His approach to the monarchy is focused on control, clarity, and reputation. He is expected to limit or cut ties that he believes could create problems or unwanted attention. This is part of a much larger vision. William is said to favor a smaller, more disciplined royal household. He wants fewer people at the center, clearer roles, and no room for divided loyalties. In his view, the monarchy must be tightly managed to survive in a modern world where public opinion can change quickly. Interestingly, this idea is not entirely new. Charles himself had long supported the concept of a slimmed-down monarchy. However, when Charles approached this vision gradually, William appeared ready to act more quickly and more firmly. That difference in approach could create further tension. There are also concerns about what might happen if Charles passes away before Camilla. In that situation, her position could become uncertain almost immediately under a new King William. Reports suggest that other members of the royal family are watching closely. Princess Beatrice and Princess Eugenie are said to be particularly aware of these possible changes. As part of the extended royal family, they understand that shifts at the top can affect everyone. Some reports even suggest that discussions about legal protection have taken place, though this remains unconfirmed. All of this leads to one central question. It is not whether William will change the monarchy, he will. The real question is how those around him will respond. Will Camilla accept a reduced role quietly, holding on to her title but stepping back from influence? Or will the tensions that have so far remained behind palace walls begin to surface more openly? At the same time, Charles's concerns go beyond titles and roles. At the heart of his final wishes is also the relationship between his sons. The distance between William and Harry continues to weigh heavily on him. In many ways, his decisions reflect not just a king planning for the future, but a father hoping to preserve what remains of his family. In the end, everything is moving toward a moment of transition, a moment that will reshape the monarchy, redefine relationships, and test loyalties in ways never seen before. One thing, however, is certain. The British monarchy will never be the same again. What do you think about the future of Queen Camilla and the growing tensions inside the royal family? Do you believe these divisions can be resolved, or are they only getting deeper as time goes on? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and be sure to check out the next video on your screen right now. You won't want to miss what comes next.